Hello, 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 everybody. My name is Melanie from Hometown Paints, and I am so excited to be here today. So, I am located in Middle Tennessee near Nashville, and I'm just really happy to paint with you guys today. I'm going to switch this camera a little bit so that I am small and the painting is big, and that hopefully you can see well. All right. So my business is called Hometown Paints, and I have been painting for about 15 years. I've been teaching for about 8 years, and I've been teaching online for about 2 years, like the whole rest of the world, right? All right. So today we are going to paint this cute little reindeer. And he's actually pretty simple. And I posted earlier, I asked if you guys wanted a tracer or not. And I decided to go ahead and do this tutorial without a tracer. So if that feels scary to you, bear with me, follow along, and we will try our best to help you get through those nerves. Because to be honest with you guys, I'm feeling a little tiny bit nervous today too, because there's a lot of people in this online paint group. All right, so say hello if you come on, and tell me hello, where you're from, and all that good stuff. All right, so I am painting today on an 11 by 14 stretched canvas, just like I painted this guy on. And I'm going to show you guys how to draw it out. I'm hoping that everything is right. I did go live a little earlier. I'm 3 minutes early. Okay, I see someone. Hey there, Rose. Hey there, Rose. Okay, so hopefully I'm in the right spot and everything's working like it's supposed to. If not, someone let me know. Okay, so I'm just using a normal pencil, just a regular old pencil, and I'm just going to draw it out, okay? You can do this with a Sharpie, but I would suggest starting with a pencil, and then if you really feel like you need Sharpie, then go over your pencil lines with the Sharpie. Starting with a Sharpie is scary because it doesn't erase, right? Okay, so let's look at this guy. Let's see, I'm going to start with this little round part of his nose, and I'm putting my pencil up here, and it's kind of like halfway in the middle of the canvas, right? Like halfway in the middle that way is there, and halfway in the middle that way. So okay, here's my halfway, sort of. I'm just eyeballing, well, you can't see that. But I made a little dot. Okay, so I'm just going to, that's just an oval, right? Just an oval, something simple. So I'm going to start with his nose, and I'm just going to draw an oval. And it's not going to be perfect that first time, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to look at how far away it is from the side, and then how far away it is from this side. Like when you're drawing, you kind of, that's what you do to like get things in the right proportion, to get things in the right spot. So once I kind of sketch it on there a little bit, I'm going to go back over it. You can see that, hopefully. Yeah, okay. All right, so that's his big old nose. All right, easy peasy. So I'm going to do his face next. That's like the big focal point. And I'm starting, okay, let's see, how much show you this? I'm starting about even with his nose, just a little ways out. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here, put a little dot up there. And then I'm just going to make, it's just kind of a rounded, it's going to get really circular down here. It's just rounded. And then I'm going to start up here at this point and go down kind of in a straight line, and then it's going to curve around. Okay, so that was easy, and I can see now that his nose is a little crooked, but I'm not going to worry about it because we're not going to worry about it. We're just going to have fun. Okay, so the other thing, I'm going to draw his body now, and that's pretty easy too. So right here on the side, I'm going to do, this was kind of a rounded line. I'm going to do another rounded line almost all the way down to the bottom, and do the same thing over here. Another rounded line. That might be too fat, but okay. Now I'm going to do his arms. So I know I want those to be, I don't know, about 1 inch wide. Do that. Do the same thing over here. All right, so it's just lines and shapes, you guys. All right, I'm gonna close this off and then give him some hooves. I think that's what that's called. And I've got some lines on here that I'm not going to use, but I'm not going to worry about it because we can just erase that, or we can just paint over it. That's the thing. Like when you're drawing stuff on like this, if you just do it in pencil, sometimes it's hard to see your lines when you just do it in pencil, but you can definitely paint over that and it just goes away. All right, I didn't do those lines really dark, so they're a little bit hard to see. So I'll go back over a little bit. And if you are not painting along with me, if you go back and watch this video later, then you can pause and rewind. So if you're like, you did that really fast and I missed it, you can pause and rewind. Hey, Tara, I'm so glad that I did this right. And I'm in the right spot. Okay. I'm going to, he has to have legs back here, but we're going to pop back up here. His hat, like the little fuzzy white part of his hat, is also kind of like a big oval, but I'm going to make it have a wavy line. It's sort of ovally, sort of rectangle-y, but it has a wavy line. That's hard to see. All right. I'm used to not pushing down really hard with my pencil, and you can't see that. So let me go back over it. Okay, you can see that. All right, and then his hat, think of a triangle that doesn't go up too far, and it's rounded, and then it's gonna come way down over here. Okay, and then that's the point. So we're gonna come all the way up to right there, to the top of that white part. And now I'm gonna get my big fat eraser and erase this stuff in the middle, because that's his hat. And you won't be able to see all that white stuff. Okay, and he has a puffball, and then what else does he have? He has some ears. So this ear is right about here. I'm going to think about a football. It's kind of like a football. And then there's a line that does that. And that might be a little too little. Hopefully you can see that. And then there's another one of those over here, but it's going to go behind the hat. Okay. All right. And his eyes are just two little dots, so we're going to worry about that later. I'm going to put this present in, this gift. That is just a tall rectangle. Nothing fancy. It's got a lid on it. That's another rectangle. And then we'll worry about the bow and all that jazz later. But we need to put his legs on there. So I want to do this first because his legs are behind it. So all this really is two lines that hopefully you can see. All right. And then these two lines go up. And this one goes down. And I'll put a little round because that's supposed to be his foot. All right, so we drew it out. Now, you might be thinking, you're nuts. I cannot do that. I think you should give it a shot. But if you can't do it, then I will make a tracer for you guys and get that uploaded to make it a little easier for you. All right, so today I am using my fancy palettes, which is a paper plate, water, a paper towel. Let's talk about the paint I'm using. I have my heavy, I call it heavy, it's heavier bodied, it's not heavy. Hello, Shailene. Thank you for joining. Okay. This is not absolutely necessary. I just like to use it. It's just thicker white paint, but I also have my Deco Art white paint. So any white paint you have is fine. This pink that I'm using is the thicker paint. It's the quinacridone magenta. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. That's our background. I'm also using this red, which is cadmium deep, or red deep. Sorry, I said that backwards. I'm just using that because I'm out of red craft paint. So don't stress. I'm using a folk art turquoise color. It's called Adrift. And then what brown? Let's see. Why do I have, do we use green? No. Why do I have green over here? Got paint everywhere. I'm using a couple of different browns. I've got espresso. I've got Mississippi mud. I've got khaki from Apple Barrel. Deco Art was from the others. I've got buttermilk out here from Deco Art. All right, so I'll talk about the paint as I'm using it. Oh, and I've got this pretty sparkly paint that we're going to use at the end. But I'll talk about it as I'm doing it. I just wanted to go through it once. I'm going to use just a normal, let's see, I think I'll use this big brush, which is like a 3/4 inch angle brush. There's the word. But you can use a flat brush. I'm just going to use this bigger brush to do the back. And I am going to use that pretty pink color and some of my thicker white paint. And that's what that looks like. And the background is very messy. And here's how I do it. All right. So I'm just grabbing a little bit of white and a little bit of that pink on my brush. Can you see that? And just going at it, y'all. It doesn't really matter what your background looks like. So if you don't have this pink, if you're not feeling the pink, if you're like, I don't like pink, then choose a different background. But you know what? I'm going to get a smaller brush. I knew that when I grabbed it, and then I did it anyways. Find them. I have this, there it is. I have this one brush that I just love, and I'm using it to death. Yeah, so if red, or if this bright pink is not your thing, you can do any background you want to do. And it's pretty dark, so I like to add this white to like break it up, but I like to see some of that dark in there. And it's super messy, y'all. Just get it on there any way you can. I like to paint my sides as well. Wendy showed us a minute ago a fun way to do the sides of your canvas that I do from time to time. I love that too. But on this guy, I'm just painting it with the pink. So just, you can kind of blob it on, you can brush it on, you can go back and add, like if it's too light, go back, I don't know, just get it on there. Just get it on there. So how's everybody doing today? I hope everybody's doing well. Everybody ready for Christmas? I think I have all my Christmas bought. I think. There's some things that I still have to make because, you know, that's what I do. But as far as the stuff I had to purchase, I think I've already done it. It's on its way. It's in the mailbox, or it will be in the mailbox. Okay, this takes a minute, and it's not the most exciting, but we'll get there. Just make sure I always go around the edge of my drawings and then add the messiness, then go back and add the messy, because you don't want to, well, you could just go crazy and go into your drawing part, but I don't like to do that. I'm not that crazy. I'm going to show you a fun snow technique at the end of this. That's my favorite thing. So I guess I was trying to say that a minute ago. If you have a fan brush, I'm going to show you something cool at the end of this. When we get it done, it's a very cool way to make realistic looking, really pretty snow. All right, let me get this side painted. Is anybody else's husband watching football right now? I kind of like this was on a Sunday, because I'm usually stuck in there watching football with him, and I'll watch it, but it's just not my favorite. So I was like, yay, I have fun paint thing to do today. So excited. All right, I have all the sides done. Let me go back in there. So let's talk about drawing stuff on your canvas. I don't always draw everything out. Sometimes I just start, just with the paint, just kind of draw with the paint a little bit. That is totally fine. A lot of times when I teach paint parties, I do that in person and online as well, but a lot of times when I teach paint parties, I will either provide a tracer or draw it out for them, like if I'm doing an in-person party. It does help, but if you are really, really trying to learn how to paint, you will get to the point where you don't always need to draw it out on your canvas. But I will say that there's nothing wrong with drawing it out on your canvas. I like to paint barns, and when I do that, I always draw it out. Like if it's something very symmetrical, I just feel like sometimes you need a ruler, and just really needs to be right, because you don't want like a lopsided barn. Tara said, mine asked me if I minded if he bought a table saw. So I said, sure, if you build me a new set of front set. Oh, you're funny. You're funny, Tara. I need to learn how to use tools, to be quite honest. I rely on my husband too much for that. He already knows how to do it. So I'm just like, hey, can you build this for me? I need to be more independent and do it myself. I've got some friends that do it themselves. And I'm like, dang it, I need to do that. All right, I'm still just trying to fill in this background. It does take a minute. And if you're drawing it out, you can do it on any size canvas, Like if you guys want a tracer, then I will make one, and it'll probably be this size, 11 by 14. But if you don't have an 11 by 14 canvas, or if you just want to do it on a smaller one, you can. Totally can. That's why it's good to learn how to start drawing things out a little bit. All right. So I like that crazy background, I think. I think I do. Okay. So I'm going to offload my paint on my paper towel and then dip it in the water. And let's see. think I will do the dark brown parts first. Oh God, I forgot to draw his antlers. It's okay. We're going to draw it on with paint. We're going to get there. I knew I forgot something. Okay, so I'm grabbing espresso because it's my darkest brown that I have here. But y'all, it doesn't matter. You just need some dark brown. And this is craft paint. And these guys are supposed to be dark brown. So I'm gonna let this dry while I paint, but I might have to get the hair dryer out for a sec. It's actually not a hair dryer, it's like a heat gun / hair dryer. It's my new favorite thing. But I need to get that dry. Okay, so same old angle brush. It's just a small angled brush. You could use a flat brush. You could use whatever you got. That's what I suggest. Just grab what you got, use what you got. Don't go out and spend a ton of money because it's so easy to spend too much money on art supplies. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Hey, Cheryl. Thank you, Cheryl. He is a little cute, fun guy. I was trying to come up with something for you guys that was fun and holiday-ish, and I'm going to tell you what I did. I have been painting Christmas trees like crazy, but I saw that there were several others. Where can I put this? I saw that there were several others that were doing Christmas trees, so I was trying to come up with something different. Sorry, y'all. And I've never painted a reindeer before, but I was like, well, let's give it a shot. All right, the inside of his ear is this dark brown, and I probably should have used a little bit of smaller brush, but that's just how I do. Just fill it in, and you might be able to see the difference between craft paint and this thicker paint right now because I can see right through this brown paint. And that doesn't really happen with thicker paint, the thicker like artist grade paint. So his leg is brown. I'll fill it in. So even though I can totally see through that, I'm not going to stress about it too much because I know I can let it dry and then just go back over it with some more. And I'm realizing I forgot a bunch of pink paint down here. Doing great today, y'all. So what happens when you go live, you think you got everything ready and everything all set, and then you don't. But it's fine. Hopefully y'all will bear with me and be nice peoples. All right, that's his little hoof. There's the other one. Okay, I think that's all the brown. My husband's got his face in the window. I told him not to cut the grass, and he was like, it's really not grass. He's like he's using the lawnmower to like cut the leaves up. So I was like, please don't do that while I'm trying to teach this online. So now he's stuck his face in the window and sticking his tongue out. I'm married to a giant man child, you guys. Anybody else? Just me. Just kidding. I love him. He's a mess. Okay. So I have to draw the antlers on there. So I'm using my handy dandy little heaters or heat gun / hair dryer. It's pretty quiet and it works really well. All right, so I'm going to go back and fix my mistakes. Here we go. Okay, so he has antlers. So this one, I'm just going to take this brush and make a little line. I'm going to round the top off, and then that's a little round. That's a little round. That's round. And now I'm looking at it and it doesn't seem tall enough. So I'm going to add some more. All right. That works. So you don't have to draw everything if you're like me and you mess up and forget. I gotta tell y'all a story. I used to absolutely hate being or like public speaking, and I gotta tell you, I've gotten better with it, but I still have my moments. But I remember in like fourth grade or something, we had to do a demonstration. Like we had to demonstrate a skill. And I guess I had no skills in fourth grade because the skill that I demonstrated was how to make Rice Krispie treats. You guys know what I'm talking about? I know you do. They're pretty yummy. And I get through the whole thing. Like I was so nervous. I was like sick to my stomach, so upset. It was so stressed out. I get through the whole thing, and I forgot to add the Rice Krispies because I was just kind of like faking it. I wasn't really putting the food in the pan, and they started laughing at me. It was traumatic. So I did it again. I forgot the Rice Krispies, but we added it in. All right, so those look okay, but I can really see the lines right there. I need to watch my time so I don't go over. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and go over that again and fill it in. Now, this painting doesn't have a lot of shading or anything like that. I was trying to keep it kind of simple for you guys. But if you have those skills and would love to jazz this up a little bit, I would love to see what you do with it. I love to see everyone's paintings at the end of these things, how everybody changes them up and makes them different and adds their own variety and just imagination and fun. Like that's just the best thing. I just love it so much. All right. These guys might need some more. Might need to let them rest for a minute. There's a lot of paint up here. Yeah, I'm pulling the paint off. Okay, I'm gonna let that be. You know what else I'm gonna do? Put the pink down here that I forgot to put. On there. Just using my same brush. This is what usually happens when I teach. I end up using the same brush over and over until I'm forced to use a different one. That paint's wet, so I'm trying to be very careful. I don't know what I was thinking. I was talking to y'all and not paying attention is what I was doing. Terry says, so a running joke in my family always makes fun of me because one Christmas I made everyone banana pudding for a gift, like the pudding from scratch and the vanilla wafers from scratch. And I got so caught up in it, I forgot the bananas. Oh, Tara, I'm so glad I'm not alone in this. I think it's our creative brains. We get excited and skip things. Oh, that's funny. Funny. I'm glad I'm not alone. Thank you for sharing that, Tara. Okay, so let's see. What color did I paint this? Let's think about it. I think it was this. It's this khaki color, the apple barrel. But really, you guys, it's just some sort of like lighter brown, like a beigey brown. We're gonna have a beige reindeer. All right. So that pink loves to stick in this brush. Let me try to get it out. So has anybody else like Tara and I and make things and skip steps? I'm just going to paint this brown, which I know I'm going to have to paint a couple of layers of. I'm just filling it in. It's like a base coat. It's his body, but not his tummy. His tummy is a lighter color. So you just fill it in. Kind of like a coloring book. I'm excited to go back and paint Tara's trees and Wendy's snowman. I love the way Wendy paints. Just love it. So I'm going to go back and paint those. I was going to paint with her, but had to get ready for you guys. So I'm going to have to do that later. I'm sure there's some more football on, so I can just sit out here and paint. All right, so if I overlapped the face with my pink a little bit, it doesn't even matter because I can just cover it right now with these lines. If you overlap the brown a little bit, it's not a big deal either. Again, I just try to simplify this as much as I could because I haven't taught in this group before, so I'm not really sure where everybody is. Like if most people are beginners, I just dip that in paint and then dry it off. I don't know if most people are beginners or if we have like some intermediate painters or what. So again, if you are more advanced than this, you are more than welcome to jazz it up. Switch to a smaller angled brush just because I couldn't fit my big one. Look, and there's supposed to be pink right there. I missed it. Missed the paint. I just switched to a smaller brush because my other one was just too big to fit in these spaces. All right, what else? Oh, this little part of his foot is supposed to be that color. Okay. Stuff like that is fun for everyone. Yes, I think so too. Because sometimes I get into a really intense painting and I'm like, this is hurting my brain. I just want to paint something fun. And what happens most often is I'll be painting orders for people and then I just have to like stop for a minute and paint something for myself. Does that happen to anybody else? All right, there's some pink in there. Okay, let's see. Where do I want to go next? I probably need to do his tummy. His tummy, I just use buttermilk from Deco Art. There it is. It's just kind of an off-white color. And I will just use my big angle brush. And it's not big, it's actually like medium sized, but it's bigger than the other one that I had. So he's pretty much covered. Starting to look a little bit like a reindeer. I think what I'm going to do now is paint his hat red. So I'm using this cadmium red, but simply because I'm out of red craft paint. So any red that makes you happy, that's what you should use. That's what you should always use. You should pick out paint colors that make you happy and use that. Because that's what this is about, right? We're trying to have fun and de-stress and do something for ourselves and be happy. And I just really put that in the white. I wasn't supposed to. I'm just filling this hat up. With this red. And you guys, if I was using craft paint, I would probably have to go over that again, but that's pretty good. That's covered pretty good. So you can see that pretty well, pretty quick and easy. I'm gonna wash my brush out and then I'm gonna blow dry. Blow dry this guy's face. Someone said, can't see your name. Since I'm using StreamYard, you have to like give it permission to show your name to me. So yeah, if you do that, then I know who you are. But thank you for coming. She said, oh yes, my first turkey dinner, I got so into it, I forgot to make mashed potatoes. Everything else was amazing, but yeah, no. Oh my goodness, no potatoes. Oh, I can't say anything. I have never made a Thanksgiving dinner. I'm lucky enough to have both my parents still around, and I'm very lucky that my silly husband likes to cook. He really likes to cook. I'm going to take a drink of water of my giant water bottle since I'm talking so much. Yeah, so sorry about your potato mishap. That is unfortunate. Okay, I'm trying to decide. I think I'm going to go back and do a second layer and maybe add just a smidge of like highlighty stuff. Highlighty stuff, that's a technical term. This red really sticks in my brush. And I don't want a red reindeer. Okay, I think I got it out. All right, so I'm going to repaint this guy because it's very streaky because I used that cheapy 50-cent Walmart paint, you guys. It works just fine, but you might have to do a few layers, right? So I have used 50-cent paint in this painting and $10 paint in this painting. It does not matter what you use, you guys. Just use what you have. Have fun. De-stress. Hopefully this makes you not stress. Maybe you're saying, if you give me a tracer, I wouldn't stress. I'll work on that, you guys. I taught a paint party Thursday night and Friday night, and yesterday I pretty much just sat on the couch all day because I was just tired. This time of year is so crazy. I was just tired. Tired. All right, I'm going to dip into that white and just kind of mix in just a little bit just to give it something. I'm trying to see what I did. Trying to see what I did on the first one. Just gives it just a little bit of something. So you can kind of see some differentiation in there. All right. I think that's good. What if I do this? Nope. Nope. I grab some brown and put in his tummy. don't know. We'll see if I like that. I might cover it up. Okay. And that looks really white on camera, so I might cover it up a little bit. So I don't want him looking weird. Okay, so I think he's okay for now. He's okay for now. And what time is it? I got plenty of time. All right, I'm going to take white paint. And this is what I like using this thicker white paint for, is to do these fluffy parts of his hat, because it's so thick that it sort of looks like fur, just like a little bit. It has texture, and I'm not brushing it on. I'm just kind of dotting it on or blobbing it on. Like I'm picking my brush up and laying it back down, like really fast, over and over and over. Pick it up, lay it down, pick it up, lay it down. And just filling it in, and that starts to look like fur. And it might not pick up on this camera, but in real life, if this were hanging on your wall, you'd be able to see that texture, and it would look more realistic. And this brush has stuff coming out of it, wrong colors. Okay. So we need a little fuzzy ball at the end of his hat. Look how much we've gotten done. It feels like we're almost finished, right? Okay, so those two things are done. And I'm going to fill in the present. I'm using Folk Art acrylic paint. It's craft paint, but it's like a thicker craft paint, and it's called Adrift. So it's kind of bright. And I was asking on one of my pages, I'm going to go on my business page before I went live, if I should add more gifts in there, like along the bottom, instead of just one. So you guys tell me what you think. Do they need more gifts? Because we can definitely add them, even though I didn't draw them. Just like these guys up here. Okay. So you tell me, do we need to put more than one gift in there? This is pretty easy. I'm just filling in the box that we drew. The lid is a little larger because it's supposed to fit down over the box, so it sticks out just a little bit. Easy peasy. Let me wash that out. All right, to add some more, I'm gonna have to dry this guy so we don't drag and paint everywhere. I think we will add some more. Dry a little bit. We still have to put his eyes on there. We have to do some more highlights. We have to outline things with black. So I'll probably use a paint pen for that. And then I have to show you how to put that snow on there, because that's my favorite part. The snow comes at the very end. It's my favorite part. All right, that's pretty dry. Let's put some more presents in there. What color presents? What color wrapping paper does he need to have? This is like a blue color. Ooh, what if we do it bright blue? What if we do it bright blue? I like bright colors. Sometimes I get a little too crazy. Oh, and here's a dark turquoisey color. All right, so I'm going to put this right here. So we covered up half of the stuff we just put there. That's okay. I'm going to go back and add some fun stuff to these, but I need to get their placement first. So there's 2 presents. You know what is better than 2? 3. What do y'all think? Purple? Is purple too crazy? What about moody blue? I don't know. Purple? Should I add purple? Or is that too much? Let me think about it. Okay, I'm adding purple. No, I don't know what that is. So we're gonna add some like bows and stuff to these presents. This is brand new paint. Can't get it off. Okay. Shake it up real good. See what it looks like. Oh, I kind of like it. Okay. Still got blue in it. Should I put it on top of here? Should I put it over here? Covered up his whole tummy. I never use purple, but that's fun. Maybe I'll put a lid on it too. Is that centered good or balanced? Your art has to have balance, like symmetrical or asymmetrical. Getting into art terms here, but since my reindeer's on this side and all the presents are on this side, I feel like it's okay. I'm gonna get out these other colors and add some details on the gifts. That one's too gray. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's a pretty color. Okay, so the original one had the white. Let me grab that. Had the white line or the ribbon and a bow on top. So let me do that, and then we'll figure out how to decorate these other ones. Okay, so white line down the middle. If your hand gets a little wiggly, it's okay. And a white line across there. Yeah, that's all right. And then I'm going to use a round brush to do these little fun little ribbons. And they're just loops with a round brush. They meet back in the center. Just a fun little bow. Easy peasy. All right, so I'm going to add I'll tell you how I added the dots to this. I used the back of my paintbrush, not the brush part, the other part, and just put some dots. Dip into the white paint. I think, did Wendy do this a minute ago with the snow? You can make snow this way, but since, like if we were going to do that and I was going to use these dots on the present, then that probably wouldn't look quite right. So I know that I'm not going to do my snow like this, so it's okay for me to put these dots on here like this. Can you see that? I'm going to lift it up a little bit. See those dots? Okay, I got some blue, a different color blue. Let's see if you can even see this. I'm using my round brush just to put some real simple diagonal lines. You can do these little wrapping paper decorations any way you want to. Lots of ways to change it up. I'm going to take some white paint and put right beside each one of those lines. That blue is very dark. I thought it would pop and it did not. That happens sometimes. Sometimes you're painting and you think something's going to turn out one way and then it doesn't. You just have to trust the process, like everyone says, and try again. As long as you keep trying, as long as you keep painting and keep practicing and just keep on keeping on, you will get there, you guys. One day you'll look up and you'll be like, look what I painted. It's so amazing. I'm going to put these on here too. Might do this. That's wiggly and messy, but it's okay. I'm going to put another bow up here, and I think this one's going to have this kind of thing. So yeah, you can get carried away with these gifts down here. Keep squinting when I look at the camera. Going blind. I'll put big dots on this one. Big circles. I do like this now a little better than the first one with this fun stuff added. We're going to go back and outline almost all of this. So if any of these lines aren't quite right, it's going to be okay, because we're going to add those lines and it's going to fix everything for you. I just took a little bit of white paint on my brush and added some highlights, which is hard for you to see. Okay, here's what it is. That's still really hard. It looks okay right here, guys, I promise. Okay, so I got carried away in my own little land over here, and now I'm going to get back to you guys and finish this up. All right, so let me get that out of my brush. Using the round brush, I'm going to take some white and add a few little highlights around his nose, and the bottom down there, and the side of his face. Where else did I do it? Did it over here, in his arm, down like on his ear. on his hat and on his little antlers. Okay. Now I think we're going to do the black. All right, let me find my black paint pen. It's not messed up. I like to use Posca pens, Posca paint pens. They're pretty great. They work well over acrylic paint. And they just glide right over it. They don't come out all like blobby and stuff like that. Hey, Jackie. Thank you. Thank you, Jackie. Hopefully it'll be cuter in just a minute. It'll have eyeballs. Of course, I have the black pen that's not started. Let's see. What else can we talk about while I get this started? I'm about to outline just about everything on the gifts, on his face. I'm going to give him eyeballs. Just about everything. And you need a fan brush here in a minute. A fan brush looks like that. Looks like a broom to me, like a old school broom. Got it started. Okay, so this is still kind of wet in places, but I'm just gonna start. Okay. So when you start doing this, it's all gonna come together a little bit. And I don't do this for all my paintings, outline them in black. But when you're doing something fun like this, like cartoony looking, it does help kind of bring things together. And especially if you're brand new and you don't quite have the control that you need yet, like with your hands, this definitely cleans things up a little bit. Doing his ears. And one trick that I like to do when I'm trying to draw on a canvas is I always put my pinky out and like touch the canvas or touch the table or touch something. It kind of stabilizes your hand. And I cannot explain why it does that, but it sure does. All right, so I'm going to put his eyes in there. And you guys, you can do this with paint or you can do it with a paint pen. They're just little dots. They're just little circles. Just make sure you keep them even. You spread them far enough apart. See them? They're teeny tiny. I'm trying to do what's not wet. I'm gonna do his antlers. I probably could have added a little bit of highlight with these antlers, but that's okay. It's also okay if you're doing this black line, it's not completely right. Like if it's a little bit off of where it should be, it's okay. Like it just looks like an intentional artistic expression. You know what I'm saying? Do his hat. And I didn't put my pinky down, so this is crazy. Okay. All right, there's his hat. I didn't outline this, but I think I'm gonna. Didn't do it the first time. You can see it a little better. Oh, and I also forgot to add glitter this time. We got to do that because glitter is the funnest. All right, now I'm going to do all this, which is still kind of wet. So everywhere there's a color change, you want to outline. And you can definitely do this without a paint pen. You just use a very small paintbrush. Just use like a liner brush. And I have to draw this. Sorry, guys. Just use a liner brush and some black acrylic paint, and you will be just fine. Whew, that's hot. Okay. Let me outline. I can't remember who's coming right after me. Maybe Tara knows. That is wavy. But it's okay. It's okay. I'm also excited about Rose later. I know what she's doing. She's one of my buddies. She's doing Candy Cane Lane, and it's so pretty. Like, I want to paint that too. Her business is the Painted Toad. Sorry, I don't remember other people's. I'm going to outline all my gifts. Okay. Look at all those fun presents. All right. Put that over here. I'm going to take and put a little dot of highlight in his eye. So I'm going to take my liner brush and just make it really pointy and just put a little dot, little dot. I'm also going to add some of this highlight to my gifts. Some of this like streaky highlight that we did over here over the pattern and kind of jazz it up. It doesn't have to be complicated or elaborate. Just make it fun. All right, so I'm going to add the glitter, and then I'm going to show you that snow, doing that super fun snow. Shailene is up next doing Sunrise Mandala. Oh, I'm excited about that too. I love mandalas. I made one when I was in college that I love. It's like the only thing that I made in college that I really, really like. All right, so that, I'll tell you what I use. It's Deco Art Americana Enchanted Shimmer. white. All right, so it's gonna go on and it's gonna look like white paint, and you're gonna be like, oh no, I just painted white paint all over everything and I didn't mean to. But it dries clear. Promise, promise. But I'm gonna put mine over what's already white. And you probably won't even be able to see this unless it's hanging on a wall and you walk by it and just the light catches it. And then you'll be like, ooh, pretty. Ooh, pretty. All right, added it just on my fluffy hat parts. You can add it anywhere. Okay, are y'all ready for this snow? We've got everything painted. We've got everything outlined. We have highlights on there. I showed you how to draw it. We did so many things. This is soaking wet. Okay, what you need is a fan brush, and this one's seen its day. So it's a fan brush. Can you see that? Yes? Okay, looks like that. I'm going to get it wet. I'm going to get a little water on it. And I really need some clean water out here because this water's pink. And then I'm going to dip it into, with the water still on it, dip it into my white acrylic paint. And I'm using that thinner acrylic paint right now. I'm not using that nice thick artist grade paint because I want it to be runny. Because here's what we're going to do. I've got lots of runny white paint on here. I'm going to take this other brush that has nothing on it, and I'm just going to tap. Can you see it? I'll hold it up in a minute if you can't see it. But it just starts looking like real snow. It's very fine. Make sure you get it really watered down. Well, I don't know, like you want it watered down, but not so watery that it just is like dripping off the brush. But if it's not watery enough, it just won't land right. Like it'll come off in a big string of paint, and you don't want that either. Can you guys see this? I'll hold up in a minute. It's so fun that it's like hard to see on camera because this background's so crazy already. Like if I were doing this on black, you'd see it really well. I didn't put a bow on my purple present. Maybe it needs a bow. All right, that's all you do. It's super easy. And I'm telling you, if you do this on, I'm going to put that in the water so I don't forget. If you do this on, I don't have one out here, like a dark background, it really shows up really good. Let me put it up there. Can you see it? Isn't that cool? It looks like snow. See it on that hat? Looks like snow. You can see the texture. Maybe you can see some of the. Okay, so that's about it. There's my little reindeer guy with the snow. I love to see what you are able to make. Love to see your rendition of this guy. There's lots of fun things you could do. You could change the background up. You could take the presents out. You could add more presents. You could do whatever the heck you want to do. Use your imagination. Have fun. I'm Melanie from Hometown Paints. I should be coming on here at least once a month, maybe more, and teaching you guys a little bit. I'm excited to get to know all you guys and paint with everybody. But if you like what I did and want to follow me, my business is Hometown Paints. I'm on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and all the things. If there's a social media platform, look for Hometown Paints and I'm there. But I'm most active on Facebook and Instagram, so you can find me there. So thank you again. Thank you for joining us today. I can't wait to see what you paint. I hope you stick with us and you follow the rest of the ladies that are coming today. Thank you, Tara, who told me Shailene is next. So I'm really excited to paint what she has provided. And I'm just excited for the day. Thank you, guys. I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. Let me find the button. Hope you have a wonderful Sunday. I hope you find a way to be creative today and just have a good day. Bye, everybody.